Hello, world. Welcome to VAURA CAST EP003. Joining us again, Hassan. You want to? Yeah, Hassan. So, Hassan, can you talk about Ukraine or?
Yeah, hell yeah.
Hassan has just come back from his adventures.
Man, yeah, so I went to San Francisco. I had some work to do there for a couple months, and the job sent me to Ukraine for about 12 days and a couple other spots in Europe, but most of my time was there in Ukraine. It was beautiful over there. A lot of people don't get to see the city in that light just because there's not really that much media of it and colorful and warm manner outside the depiction of war. It's definitely a space and place of resilience to see the people still be so lively and to see the culture be progressive amidst all that is transpiring as far as occupation and war. There is truly beautiful and a testament to resilience. And you hear the air raid sirens all the time, and you'll get advisories to go inside, and you'll see some people abide by it. Most people is like, hey, it is what it is. So they're just keeping it pushing. I was in the capital city, Kiev. I wish I would have went to some of the other spots there. But the capital city, great food, great people, a lot of history there, really beautiful. And, they go on lockdown at night. There's a curfew. And at nighttime, you can hear the armored vehicles. You can hear the shots and the things of they're shooting down shaheeds. Shaheeds are Iranian drones that are given to the Russians to send over into Ukraine for attack. But beyond that, really beautiful, great time. I was privileged to touch down a couple other places briefly. Germany, Poland, I had the second most days there. London briefly, Ireland briefly. And me, it's just getting to see other people's codes and structure and pace and place. It's definitely made me more grateful for where I come from, and because I'm always, anytime you're in a new place, you're pinpointing and paralleling and comparing, contrasting to where you come from or where you've been. So I was doing that every time I stepped somewhere new, and I was like, okay, how can I immerse myself more, and what do I want more of? I want more experience, more culture, more grasp, more reach to intake more, because I think it's like a real life RPG. Is like the more you experience elsewhere, I think the more you get to grasp and appreciate and get exposed to other ways of life and outside of your own echo chamber or bubble. So I just returned back. I've been back in America for about a week. Returned to San Francisco, which is a totally different world from Houston, Texas. I just touched back down in Houston, Texas last Saturday. So been in a couple different spots. Very grateful, very privileged, very blessed to be able to move in the manner I move in, and all in pursuit of balance. Yeah.
What do you think it is about you that allows you to what's the word? Acclimate to fresh environments? Because, one of the things that I see in you whenever you approach new things, like, for example, Houston, you had a very fluid, easy time integrating into the culture and the community.
I think it's really pursuing, grasping the space more, so being more open to it and attempting to immerse myself by just doing and going out and meeting people I think even here, even though we speak English here, or a majority of the people do, Spanish is obviously big here. It's like, okay, well, there's a certain code to Houston, and not only a code language-wise, but a structural and cultural code here. So it's like immerse myself there and be open to experience. So I think me just trying stuff and trying to immerse myself in that code wherever I am, while remaining who I am and true to that, but open to change, I think aids me in adaptability. I just love new experience. I love people.
Yeah.
And I love the allure of new spaces and places. I think that's why I've hopped around so much within the last 4 to 5 years. But I think me being open to new experiences and like willing to immerse myself in discomfort or what we could deem uncomfortable and the beauty of the unknown.
Yeah.
Because there's still so much of that here for me. I've only scraped the surface level of Houston. Not that there's no like final level. There's no mastery, I think, of a space. I think there is a certain threshold to pass, though, within oneself, and this differs for everybody, to where you can really reap the fruit of what your space has to offer. That goes for a lot of things, but I'm mainly just talking the city. So I think, I've been pulling fruit from the tree of Houston for some time.
Yeah.
But I think this year there's been a lot of that more. I think a lot of that is tied to mindset, though.
Yeah. You Johnny Appleseed, just like throwing seeds everywhere.
Yeah. Water.
Like that's how I like to see it
Yeah.
too. And now I like to see it like the VAURA the same way. It's like planting the seeds in the minds of people as well with the spirit.
For sure.
And allowing people to cultivate their own way of approaching
For sure.
that raw energy.
And that recalibration, I watched the second episode you did, and you said it, hey, in real time, I'm recalibrating.
Yeah.
But this takes patience. Growth takes patience, but also belief in self, because obviously there's so many programs that have been at play. So it's like, okay, well, this recalibration takes time to rewire. So I have to be patient with myself first.
Yeah.
To then introduce it to someone else.
Yeah. And even recently, I'm in a similar position as you, transitioning and entering new phases of life, which is, I feel like what life always is. The only constant is the change.
Yeah.
But within that, you go from smaller loops of life to grander loops of life. And in between there, you sink into these periods of doubt that I thought I would never be in again, thinking that, I've definitely have conquered that emotion and that way of thinking. But with the growth and with the new highs that I reach, it's like over here is the same lows, finding new ways into my new life.
Yeah.
But I think the biggest difference now is that I know to keep my head up and to allow myself to leverage that to build me stronger, knowing that, hey, my life is like this, and my demons also are growing stronger with that. But with that, so is my discipline. Because
what do you think your grandest outlet for that is? Or what calls your name the most?
like, is faith. That's the only thing now, right? Because as we progress as men, as humans, as Vaurian, as men who stand firm in their beliefs, the world starts to not be there for you. right? And that's when the doubt creeps in. The only thing that's truly there for you is the faith. And you think, hey, what a,
Sorry.
no, you think like, right, oh, yeah, I'm just going to lean on the faith, right? But then something happens and you're like, oh, no, like, this is the only way.
Yeah.
And with leaning on faith comes a lot of letting go and a lot of, hey, I expected this to happen. Well, it's just not going to happen that way. And yeah. But
Yeah, I
you
think
got to catch up on the second episode?
Yeah, I watched it. I liked it a lot. I think because obviously when you hear things, when people listen to this, or when I listen to this, or even when I'm having a conversation, it's like, okay, we say things in real time. Then for me, I'm like, I'm analyzing it. Like, okay,
Yeah.
where am I at with this now? Where will I be with it? So I say that more because obviously in the last episode, you talked a lot about identity and you said a lot of good things. And I think a lot of things tied to consciousness and raw and gold and human and like frequency, but also like existing outside of the binary. I think, which I think is on point.
Yeah, transcending duality.
Yes, where my grasp, because I'm still processing it as I listened to it
Yeah.
earlier today, is with obviously the binary of black and white with race. And it makes sense when you say, okay, well, there's things within this binary this binary has been used as a divider to program. And when you call somebody XYZ white, then you empower them in this regard, or black in this regard. Where my conflict lies is with, my whole life I've identified as a black person, and I understand the claim that, okay, this is divisive and this is a part of the board, the chessboard. But I have such a grasp to black identity and black pride, which you made mention of, that I feel fuels what I do. Like at my root, what has fueled me has been a black root.
Yeah.
So obviously when I hear well, hey, you gotta step out, like remove this label, and I like melanated, I like brown. I like these terms. It's like, okay, well, can I find a synthesis to where I exist outside of the chessboard of that binary, but still and exist as raw, exist as God consciousness, as Allah, as a higher being, but still hold on to what I value and who I am in black culture and black influence and black pride. Because I don't know, and I don't know if there is there's certain, when you can take apart some computers and shit, and you can reprogram a lot. Like I can change out the RAM or the graphics card and the Windows computer. I can change the NVIDIA out. I can't do that with a Mac.
Yeah.
I think I'm a Mac here. Sorry to brand myself.
I fuck with Mac.
Yeah, I can't change. My graphics card is black.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can take, and it comes down to think of language and what's the E word?
Etymology.
Yes. I understand the pursuit of etymology to free ourselves from ideas and systems, so you can exist outside the binary and not be boxed into certain programming, but trying to grasp
Yeah.
Can
Oh,
two things
yeah.
exist at
Yeah.
the same time? Can I still grasp myself as black, black person? I love black
Yeah.
culture,
Yeah.
everything. I'm black, y'all. I'm blackity black, black.
Yeah.
While still being detached from the beast system and the
Yeah.
checkerboard, and still having power over my language and my, what's the E word again?
Etymology.
Etymology.
Yeah. I'm a surf right here.
Yeah.
Like,
Because it became a thing of conflict, and not a bad thing when I was listening, but it was like, okay, how it takes time to process, and I think it'll still take time after this conversation.
it's like whenever you watch people who say, "Hey, don't eat this," and then don't give you like an alternative, because it's a tricky one.
Yeah.
Because there's many words that can replace it, but there isn't like one that is gonna be like, "Hey, you can use." When you're saying like the hardware, right? I don't think that language is hardware. I think it's software, right? Hardware is our temple, like our flesh and blood. And skin color can be hardware,
Yeah.
but even then, it doesn't serve as a accurate representation of your physical embodiment. And so, what is it then? It's a cultural label.
No, I agree.
Yeah.
I think it's more cultural label than obviously, I'm not.
And so, like,
black.
again, reaffirming that it indeed is a software. It's a spellware, right? And, not even from a point where we need to remove it, maybe even reprogram it, right? But to even understand how to do that is to understand how it's programming now, what it's programming into the minds of the people.
But don't you think there's so much programming going on? Like there's so much programming going on as far as the culturally black and blackness and racially blackness, and then divides things as nature. So it's like, well, can I exist outside of this programming to still claim this?
And that's the thing is like, why? It's the thing is about identity, right? Putting humiliation first before identity is how revolution is going to feed through us and us as a people. Because when we're thinking about holding on to things, that's whenever that's when it trips.
But
You
for me,
understand?
it's like I would want to amplify it.
Amplify, but it's like there's a way where it's like a code. And what we're looking to do is decode it. It's like cracking the code. Because whatever is happening now is not working when it comes to unification, which is the goal, which is finding a way for us to crack the code to really let it flow. And I think gatekeeping, now I'm not saying anybody's gatekeeping, but when it comes to culture, labeling, right? Saying this and that, there is like a bubble effect within black culture to where things flow in and out, right? And a lot of what's happening is like people are attaching soul to black, right? People are attaching oppression and struggle and triumph through struggle as black. But that exists amongst so many other cultures.
No, and I agree.
Yeah, and like that's why, as an indigenous, you as or as somebody who was classified as African American or black, keeping that from those around, right? Not allowing Mexicans to also, exist within that triumph of, hey, we were also a peoples who were indoctrinated.
But where does that come from, though? I'm not saying in relation to Mexicans. I'm talking about the ideology that this is only something tied to blackness, where is this being activated? It's like, okay, struggle and triumph is only tied to blackness, because then that's what I'm talking about. There's certain like spaces and bubbles of where programs are being activated.
Yeah.
So it's like, because if and I understand the pursuit is like, because I think it exists when, like, it's a thing of mentality. But there's also, and I think there's a mass that does not abide. I know there's a mass that does not abide by blackness as under those adjectives of lesser than, like anecdotes of struggle and slavery
Yeah.
and lesser than, and things. I understand where you're coming from. I think there's so many, because it becomes a thing of like, it's more based in it's not subjectivity or objectivity. It's I'm looking for a G word. I think it becomes a generalization, because
Black.
no. The idea of that blackness being tied to and exclusive to slavery and triumph and struggle.
Yeah.
Only being tied to blackness.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
No, but what I'm saying is,
You don't think it exists?
I do think it exists.
Yeah.
But I think two things can be true at once.
Yeah.
Not that doesn't have some validity to it, but it has validity not only for black people, but like you said, like for Mexican people or for Irish people and things of this nature.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, instead of expunging this or getting rid of this, it's like, let me decode it and make sure that the ideology and the fuel behind it is
Yeah.
only grasping that of power, like empowering anecdote and empowering energy and empowering, what's the E word again?
Etymology.
Etymology.
See, well, I'm standing firm in the stance that, because I was only entertaining the idea of maybe revisiting and reworking the word, but I'm standing firm in the idea of letting it go altogether. And white.
Yeah. But the thing is,
Because-
like, how could you say that as a person that's not black or white?
And that's the thing of duality, is existing, because I didn't truly understand, because remember I was telling you I struggle with duality in the first episode. You don't truly understand ascending duality until you have. And that's what you don't understand when you're within it. And I didn't understand that till I started speaking and spelling it and casting it out in the second episode, like really being honest with myself and speaking it out into
You don't think
the
two
world.
things can exist at the same time? That's what like my pursuit is, as far as establishing an understanding.
I
with
think,
this
yeah,
anecdote.
of course I think,
But so
yeah,
I'm saying that to say, it's like, okay, what you said in relation to, like, outside of the binary, like being raw and gold and Allah,
Yeah.
and of a higher consciousness, and being aware of these systems and these programmings and things of this sort, that would be existing outside of, like, oh, I'm human or da 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 da. These would be existing outside of the binary. These grasping those things.
yes, yeah.
As far as no label.
It's like being, because you think about Pink Floyd, The Wall. Okay.
I'm listening.
No, not The Wall. Pink Floyd, Dark Side of the Moon. You see the light come in and then fractal onto the colors.
Yeah, rainbow.
And like that's how I see duality, is like black and white, checkerboard, or red and blue, right? But then when it goes back into the prism, it becomes wholeness. It becomes raw, light, Allah, wholeness, unity. And so, yeah.
But you don't lose your identifier. Like, you still have your identifiers that you use now for who and what you are culturally. Like, you might have gone through the steps or...
Those, yeah, I mean, those are our fractaled, divine particles of identity that make us unique, right? Because I think the biggest difference between us right now is that, okay, this binary code that we're talking about, the black and white, okay, you identify with one of those proudly, right? I don't identify with either of them. And I never have. And that's the place where Mexicans exist and people who aren't quote unquote black, because we're not accepted in that way.
In what way?
As black or, you know what I'm saying? So, or white. And that's why in my mind, it's like, okay, is that because we don't have a place in this world? Or is that because in order to keep us on separate sides, it needs to be that way? And systems will ensure to program the minds of the people in that manner so that we don't look at one another as one equal oppressed consciousness. And that's the code. That's breaking the code. And it's very similar to ones and zero, 1, 0, black, white, except what I'm saying is that I am not to be programmed. I am the program. I program. And that's what I want to offer, is that step out of you being the programmed and become a programmer.
But can I, at me as a programmer,
Yeah.
I can still grab, hey, I'm taking this. I'm just taking this without this.
You can take all of, see, that's the thing about all of what quote unquote black culture is. There's no invalidation there whatsoever. It is the backbone and soul of the arts and existence, especially within the States.
Yeah.
It's the backbone of art across the world, not being black, but a struggle.
Yeah.
Palestinians,
Yeah.
like the art that they're going to create for generations to come because of their need to express their struggle, right? The black not only keeps us within one binary frame, but also keeps us within a United States frame. It keeps ideas and our expression into the United States.
Yeah, my thing is like that's the board.
Yeah.
That's the United States is the checkerboard.
Yeah, it's
Yes.
just because
Agreed.
one, founded by Freemasons. And so, like I said, it's systematic. It's generations of systematic, intentional hurting of populace, of people.
Yeah.
And so when you do that for hundreds of years, you as an investor in that can step away because you've reached the youth. You've reached the minds of the children who are going to carry that in their minds to where they spell themselves into that reality that they programmed. You understand? See, it's like symbolic, like, yes, like people who look like me. And that's what I want to step out of because that is not a reality I want to live in anymore. And so in order for that to happen, I speak on these things. One, because for me, black culture has always been so adjacent to my people. And to me, it has never been separated. It was never, to me, I could always see clearly that, no, this is the same struggle. Genocide and erasure, right? That's what we're up against. Erasure. Making sure that we don't get erased. Okay, when you zoom out, right, this is VAURA, deprogram. What are we looking at here? Culture. What is culture? Is a series of programs, right? Code. us as leaders, we look at the code, okay? Understand where the bug is, remove it, let it flow. That's how we serve. That's a servitude. At the end of it, we need to exist in our true light. We can't exist if we're fractal. We're fractured. That's fractured light. That's not what truth is. And so the term, right, I stand firm, it needs to be released. It needs to be let go. The same way that white needs to be let go.
So can you have any identity? Can you have any identity and individualism while not being fractured?
Identity and individualism will have to come second in revolution. I think first, before we can truly even fathom what we are truly, have to let go of who we were.
For sure. My thing is like, I see this program,
Yeah.
I can be whatever. I can now say, I am XYZ identity.
Yeah.
And that truth be undeniable
Yeah.
if I stand by that.
Yeah.
So if that's the principle I abide by, I understand the pursuit to exist out of the code and pursuit of unity and unison, because it does make sense. What I'm saying, like, it makes sense for that unity. It's like, okay, bet, because anytime we get to cooking, you throw the words in the mix. Oh,
Yeah.
no, I'm not that. What the
Yeah.
hell? Da 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 da.
Yeah.
So I get that. Where I'm at with it, it was like, okay, I have to recode and decode amongst my own and then amongst the others, because there's going to be a label regardless. There is.
Don't spell that.
No, there is.
Well, in order
It can't. No, it doesn't have to be the same binary, and it doesn't have to be programmed as a divisive.
More.
Exactly. It doesn't have to be. Say it again.
It will be more.
So I like that terminology. Yes, but let's say somebody does not grasp that in that regard.
Yeah.
It's going to be like once we hit 2050.
Yeah.
And once the representation changes here, because it's already shifting there, and it's no longer majority, minority,
Yeah.
it's the plurality, and who you have in power changes. As far as now we have melanated people that look like us in that beast system.